Hi, if you are looking to build core strength today, you're in the right place. We will be using functional strength training movements with a few bear crawls, some plank walks, and balancing moves, combined with a strong and flowy practice. It's meant to be challenging but accessible and in a fun way. So let's get started. Come to the top of your mat and stand in mountain pose. Feet are hip width distance apart. You can close the eyes for just a moment as you start to bring your breath to long and slow inhales and exhales through the nose. With or without the eyes closed, slide the right hand down the right thigh, reach left arm over left ear, gentle side bend here. Hug the navel to the spine and activate the core further by pretending as if you could lift the pubic bone up towards the navel. Release from the side bend and take that to the second side. Continue to roll the shoulder open so that the chest faces forward. Release from your side bend. Extend the arms out to a T. We're going to warm up the wrists just a little bit, making fists with the hands, closing and opening the fists as dynamically as possible. We also are building strength here in the forearms, the wrists, fingers. We'll stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Continue to keep the arms open at a T. We're going to come into a standing cat-cow. Bring the palms to touch. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, open the arms wide. Pretend you could separate the collarbones from one another. Draw the chest through. Gaze lifts slightly. One more round, palms to touch. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. Inhale it open. This time, as you close the arms, bring the left arm underneath the right. Bend the elbows, reach around, grab the shoulders. Keep the elbows elevated and allow the shoulder blades to separate on the back. Inhale, open the arms wide. Exhale, this time, right arm comes on top. Elbows are lifted. One more time on each side. Inhaling, left arm on top. Hug it in. Inhale, open the arms wide. Right arm on top. Release from there. Roll out the shoulders just a little bit for releasing them. And make your way to the top of your mat if you're not there already. We're going to walk back and forth on our mat on our tiptoes, working on a little bit of balance right off the bat. Lift onto the balls of the feet here. Your hands can stay at the waist if you want. You could also lift the arms overhead. Heels lift high, and then as you're ready, take a few trips up and down your mat, possibly without lowering the heels. If the heels lower, lift back up and come back to this. One more round, up and back. When you get back to the top of your mat, pause just a moment in the balance, and then slowly lower the heels and the arms down by the sides. Let's get right into our flow. Step the feet about hip width distance apart. You can also bring big toes to touch and leave the heels separated if that feels nice as well. Inhale, the arms lift, gaze follows. Exhale, find your forward fold. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands, step back to plank or plank on the knees. We're taking a vinyasa here. You can again lower onto the knees, gaze is forward. As you lower, bend the elbows straight back behind you, keep the gaze lifted. Inhale, find your back bend of choice. It can be cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, use your core to draw yourself back into downward facing dog. This is our first downward facing dog of the practice. So scan through the body. Let's take note of where we need to make adjustments. We want all of the fingertips and the knuckle pads and the palms and the wrists carrying our weight equally. So if you find that your weight is dumped into the wrists, press the fingers into the ground a little bit more. Reach the sit bones up towards the sky. Your knees can be as bent as they'd like to be. Our goal here is to keep the spine from rounding. So if that means a deeper bend in the knees, that's where you'd like to be. You're also driving the chest towards the thighs and pushing the ground away so that it's almost like your ears could be in line with your armpits here. Next, we're gonna walk our hands back to our feet at the back of the mat, trying to keep the hips lifted and the knees or the legs as straight as possible. Once you land at the back of the mat, let's pause in our forward fold here. Hands can be on the ground. You can have, again, as deep a bend in the knees as you'd like to have. You could also grab your opposite elbows, sway back and forth if that feels nice. You can also rest the hands on the knees or the shins. As you're ready, bend deeper into the knees. Let's roll all the way to standing. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead, and then exhale, hands come down. Place the hands on your sacrum, your tailbone, right here. We're gonna come into a gentle back bend, all right? If back bends are not your thing, skip it. But we do want to try to open the chest here. So as we place the hands on the sacrum, try to draw the elbows closer to one another so that, again, you feel broadening happening in the collarbones. Stay there, or if it feels safe, you can find your way into a gentle back bend here, opening the chest a little bit more. If you'd like to drop the head behind you, you can do that as well. Release from the back bend if you've taken it. Bring the hands. We have a couple options here. Palms can be behind the head. If that pinches in the shoulders, you can bring the fingertips to the tops of the shoulders, or even just bend the elbows a little bit. What we're looking for is a twist in our thoracic spine, our mid-spine. So once your hands are in the place that you want them to be, keep the hips pointed straight forward. Turn your torso to the right, reaching the elbows away from one another if you have them lifted. Again, we're trying to keep our hips pointed forward and just finding a gentle twist. Come back through center and twist it over to the left. Release from the twist. We're gonna walk it back out into our high plank. As you're ready, forward fold. And meet your high plank. You can stay here in high plank. You can find plank on the knees if that's more comfortable. We do want to challenge ourselves, but it shouldn't be anything that makes us angry. We want to keep our hips in line with the shoulders if you're in our high plank. You could also add more intensity by taking one hand and tapping the opposite shoulder. If you do so, you want to make sure your hips stay as level as possible so they're not rocking back and forth too much as you tap. We'll be here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift the hips, walk the hands back to the feet again. Pause and forward fold. Deeper bend in the knees, roll it all the way up. We're repeating our standing sequence of taking a little bit of a back bend here. Hands on the sacrum. Elbows reach for one another, chest opens. Gentle back bend. Coming back up, hands back to the back of the head, taking that torso twist. Hug the core in as you twist, helping you to keep the hips pointed forward. Find center, twisting over to the left, hips forward. Releasing. Walk it back out into your high plank, forward fold. Meet your high plank or plank on the knees. Again, stationary hold here or shoulder taps. Gaze is forward for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. Child's pose is also there as an option. If you're in child's pose, meet us in down dog. Come onto the balls of the feet. Walk the feet to meet the hands to the top of the mat. Once you're here, strong core, extend the spine. Exhale to find your forward fold. Inhale, rise to standing. And exhale, the hands by the sides. On your inhale, lift the arms overhead, forward fold. Halfway lift. And exhale, take your favorite vinyasa. Again, you can step the feet back. You can also try hopping the feet back to your high plank or plank on the knees. Elbows go straight behind you as you lower, gaze lifts. Exhaling as you lower. Inhaling again to find cobra or moving into upward facing dog with the thighs lifted. Use your core to draw yourself back to downward facing dog. With an inhale, the right toes lift. We bend into the right knee. We're going to draw circles with the right knee in the sky. Just slow and steady, smoothly, trying to keep the shoulders squared off to the mat. Let's draw 3 in one direction. And then 3 in the opposite direction. Step the feet together, second side. Inhale to lift the left toes. Bend the knee, circle it out. A reminder that your shoulders and chest are square to the mat. So if you find that you've tilted off to one side to compensate, try to bring it back in. Once you've finished your 3, lower the foot to the ground. We're gonna bend into the knees and come to a hovering tabletop. So what that means is you step your feet in just a little bit. You lower the knees to where we're an inch off the ground. We're working our core here. Static hold here in your hovering tabletop, or if you'd like to give it a try, we're gonna do some bear crawls, forward and back on the mat. Opposite arm, opposite leg as you move. And our goal here is to try to keep the hips as low as possible, but not so far that your knees touch the ground. You want them in line with the shoulders. So if you find that you're up here, that is fine. Eventually, you want to work towards lowering the hips. Let's take one more trip up and back. And then when you find yourself back to the center of your mat, pause for 3, 2, and lower the knees to the ground. Keep the left knee where it is. Sweep the left toes off to the side of the mat, and then lift the left knee, place the foot on the mat. So your left knee is pointed off to a 90-degree angle from the top of the mat. We want to bring the rest of our body into a child's pose shape. Stretching our inner thigh and the hip area on the left side. Release from your stretch, lower the knee. Let's change sides. Again, right toes sweep off, and then the right knee lifts. Toes pointed out, 90 degrees. Child's pose with the rest of the body. Release, make your way back into a tabletop and press the hips up again. Turn onto the balls of the feet. We're finding downward facing dog. Walk or hop the feet to the top of the mat. Let's finish out our flow here by inhaling to extend the spine. Exhaling to forward fold. Bend the knees, roll it all the way up. And exhale, the hands by the sides. We're gonna move into a round of a basic sun salutation B. 1 round, and we'll keep up with our movement flowing with the breath, so we won't pause too long. And then we'll move on from there. So sit deep into your chair pose, Utkatasana chair pose. Weight shifts into the heels. Keep the core engaged here for 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs, forward fold. Halfway lift. And exhale, take a vinyasa. Once you land, we immediately inhale the right toes up. Rock the body forward, hug the knee close to the chest, keep the hips high. We're stepping the right foot in between the hands. Back foot flattens for warrior 1. Press into the ground with the feet. On the inhale, arms come up, warrior 1. Immediately on the exhale, hands come back down, frame the front foot, step back. Vinyasa, if you'd like one. You may also skip this. Once you find your downward facing dog, second side, inhale for the left toes to reach high, stepping it forward into our warrior 1. Inhale to rise. And exhale, take a vinyasa, or meet me in downward facing dog or child's pose. Come onto the balls of the feet. Rock the body forward into your high plank, bend the knees, and lower into a standard tabletop. Supported side plank or full side plank is next. The supported version looks like taking the left toes off the side of the mat, rotating so that you can extend the right foot behind you. You shift the weight into the left arm and lift the right. You are using your left foot as a kickstand here. Supported side plank. If you're taking the full version, both feet come together at the back of the mat and the hips lift high. You can also stagger the feet to help with stability. Whatever version you're in, we're reaching the arm forward. Let's circle it 3 times. And reverse that 3 times. We want now to bring our right foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. So do that by whatever means necessary and lower onto the left knee for Anjaneyasana, low lunge. You can untuck the back toes if you'd like, or again, use the ball of your foot as a kickstand. When you feel stable, inhale, the torso lifts and the arms come overhead. We're gonna find a revolved twist here. As you exhale, open the arms out to a T, twist the torso to the right. Your right arm is behind you. Your arms are active and strong. Inhale as you lift it back up. Exhale, place the hands on either side of the front foot and then rock the hips back over the left heel. Straighten the right leg. Toes can lift if you want, or toes can stay on the mat. We're just finding a nice stretch here in the right hamstring. Chest moves forward. Bend into the right knee to release from the stretch. Step it back, lift the left knee. Downward facing dog, child's pose, or as always, a vinyasa between sides if you'd like to do that. Whatever your option is that you've chosen, lower down to the tabletop. This time our right toes sweep off. We shift right weight into the right hand. Our left leg extends for our supported version of our side plank. Full version available if you want to try that as well, of course. Let's circle the arm 3 times in one direction. And 3 times behind you. We're moving the left foot forward to the top of the mat. Whatever version you're in, twist everything around so now you're facing forward into your low lunge. Press the torso high and inhale the arms up. Let's take that twist. Exhale, arms to a T. Gaze behind you at the left hand. Really pressing into the ground with the top of your foot and the bottom of your left foot for stability. Arms back up overhead, half splits. Place the hands Outside the left foot, straighten the left leg, draw the hips back. Come out of your half splits. Lift the right knee, step back, downward facing dog. Same options as before. Vinyasa, child's pose, or stay in downward facing dog. Next, we're coming down to the knees, sweeping our hips off to one side and coming to seated with the legs extended out in front of you. We're gonna do some more walking on our mat. This time we're gonna use our hips and our oblique muscles to walk back and forth with our legs extended. A second option, if you wanna try it, is to bend the knees and walk with the feet on the floor or the mat. Whatever option you choose, we're gonna take a couple trips up and back, attempting to keep the spine as tall as possible and the feet flexed if you're using the extended leg version. We also want to try to use as little momentum as possible, but instead take our awareness to that hip joint and the oblique muscles, the lower belly core muscles here, and try to make the work happen from there. We also want to keep the heels lifted so that they don't help us cheat too much. One more trip up and back. The next time you find yourself somewhat in the middle of your mat, stop there. Let's bring our legs into butterfly pose. The soles of the feet come to touch. Spine is straight and tall. Feet can be close to the pelvis for more intensity and further away for less. You can stay here with the spine upright. You can also take the stretch into a different sensation by walking the hands forward, and you'll feel it in your inner thighs. Release from your butterfly pose. Re-extend the left leg. Bring the ankle of the right foot onto the left knee. Let's take a quick figure 4 stretch. You can bend into the left leg if you'd like to intensify. Feeling a nice opening in the right hip here and right glute. Walk hands and feet further apart to release. Second side. Come out of your figure 4 stretch. Let's make our way all the way down to the back. We have just a little bit more core work to do, and then we'll wrap it up with Shavasana. Make a C shape with the back and roll it down slowly. Again, focusing on the core to help you lower. Soften the neck. When you land at the bottom, lift the legs up. You can stay here, pressing the low back into the ground with your knees bent, shins parallel to the ground, thighs hugging together. You can also straighten the legs and then open them into a V shape, point the toes. If you're doing the straddle V with me, let's leave the left leg passive and circle the right toes in the sky for 4, 3, small circles, 2, and 1. Reverse directions for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Make a bigger circle with the right toe. 4, 3, smooth and steady. 2, and 1. Reverse that. 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you can, keep those legs lifted. We have second side. Small circles with the left toes for 4, 3. Press the lower back into the ground. Continue to keep the core activation. Reverse your circles. 3, 2, and 1. We have bigger circles. If you need to take a break, come out of it and come back in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse for 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you can, keep those legs lifted. Bring the hands behind the head or elbows to the shoulders. Lift the head, neck, and chest, and extend the arms in between the legs. You can keep the hands behind the head if you want to crunch there, or again, reach the hands forward. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work, everybody. Lower everything down. Soles of the feet on the mat, hip width distance apart. Knees are bent. Let's press right up into bridge pose. Release those muscles that we've just worked. Peeling the lower back off the ground. Reaching the knees forwards, hips come high. Make sure your knees are tracking with your toes. Stay here in your static bridge. One more option for walking is to take a walking bridge by lifting one leg and then the other. If you'd like to give that a try, we'll be here for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Lower all the way back down. Keep the knees bent. Draw the knees to the chest. Roll in circles over the sacrum. Reverse directions. Let's wrap up our practice today with a quick supine twist. Open the arms out to a T. Twist the torso, knees drop to the left, gaze drops to the right. If you haven't closed the eyes already, you're welcome to do so now. Activate the core, untwist, and retwist on second side. Turn your gaze. Shoulders are relaxed. Unwind, make your way into Shavasana. Get comfortable here. Allow the feet to relax and lay open. They're a little bit wider than mat width distance. The palms are face up or face down, but your arms are relaxed. Take the tension out of the face, out of the jaw, out of the neck, out of the abdomen. Allow your core to relax now. I hope you stay here in Shavasana for as long as you possibly can. I'm going to end the class here, but you've worked really hard today. We did lots of strong and controlled movements in the core. So as you lie here, take note of how your breath is and how your core feels. Hopefully you'll feel like you've put some effort in today. If you enjoy this type of class, please let me know in the comments and tell me, do you want less intensity or more intensity? I'd love to make more videos like this. So thanks for joining, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Have a good day.